So the question is, will the VMAX return? Oh yeah, I feel pretty lucky to be able to do that. As should all VMAX owners, particularly those of us that bought one this year. Because unfortunately there was some sad news coming out of Yamaha, and that is they are discontinuing a few motorcycles. And the VMAX is one of them. It's pretty sad for us to see it go. But for me, I'm clearly not surprised. As some of you know, if you have seen my other videos, particularly the two that pertain to why I purchased this bike, and then the other one on my purchase experience, I clearly expressed concerns that I didn't think that it would be around for much longer. And with my intent was to buy two bikes within 18 months. And I just didn't feel like the VMAX would be around 18 months from now. So I feel pretty lucky that I made the right call and got this one first. But I think a couple of things that tipped me off that this bike was nearing its end really started a couple of years ago. Because since 2009, when the VMAX 1700 came out, every year Yamaha would change the paint color. And in 2018, they came out with matte black. And in 2019, it stayed matte black. Now one could interpret that a couple of different ways. One being matte black was a strong seller, maybe a better selling color than any of the previous colors. Or if the bike hadn't been selling, regardless of the color, they didn't see the need to change it. So why give it any attention? Why give it any love? Particularly if it was already declining in sales and they didn't think it was going to stick around any longer anyway. But then at the beginning of this year, it stayed the same color again. And again, you could always ask the same question: is this one selling? Or is it a popular color? Or the other way around, it simply isn't selling and it's nearing the end, and this will probably be the last year for it. So who knows? I do know that I tried looking around earlier this spring when I was interested in the VMAX. I tried looking all over the place and trying to find sales numbers, but I could not find it, because clearly that's one of those things that you know, a lot of companies will hold tight to the chest. They really don't like releasing sales figures. During the spring, when I was looking around, I did find that very few dealers carried it. When I contacted my local dealer, they said they haven't sold a VMAX in several years. In fact, they just didn't even carry it and order one each year just to have on the showroom floor, because they felt like it was just going to sit there. And that appeared to be the case with several dealerships. A lot of them just didn't carry it anymore. They said that if anyone had an interest in it, they could have gotten a bike for them, but they just didn't carry it and have it sitting around on the showroom floor taking up space, because they just weren't selling them. Those were the signs that indicated to me that this just wasn't going to be around much longer. If it's not selling, then there's no sense in producing it. So ultimately, that's what happened. Of course, with sales this year, you know, sales were affected across all industries this year because of COVID. This is a tough year to judge. Now, what will be interesting is if the VMAX does return, you know, will it be because of that was the plan all along? Or will it be because people were knocking down the door to try and get their hands on one because they were no longer available? This kind of reminds me of what happened about 8 years ago when Hostess went out of business. Everybody all of a sudden wanted to get their hands on a Twinkie. Even those that hadn't had a Twinkie in years and maybe never had a desire to have another one again. But as soon as they were told that, oh, Twinkies will never be available again, well, now they want one because it was their last chance. And the Twinkies were just flying off the shelves. In fact, people were then selling them on eBay for several multiples of their original cost. So I mean, it was just crazy. But that's what happens, I think, when you have something that's just been around and you're used to it being there, and then all of a sudden somebody tells you, well, you can't have that anymore. Well, wait a minute, now I want it. So it's an interesting phenomenon. But anyway, that's what happened with Hostess. But I'd be curious to see what happens with the demand for the VMAX. You know, there are a few out there still, because I've searched the Yamaha database or inventory. There are some 2019s and some 2020s still available. So it will be interesting now to see how fast those go. Now that people know that they simply will not be able to get one starting next year. I just have a sense that demand will go up all of a sudden, and everybody will try and get some of the few that are left. So the question is, will the VMAX return? If it does return, will it be a different generation? Are they re-engineering the next generation right now? So tell me what you think. You think the VMAX will come back? Put your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you next time.